Hey guys, so today I got some news about Twitter. Twitter just filed for an IPO, which is initial public offering, which means it's going to be going public essentially. They're expecting to raise $1 billion in capital from this IPO. Their stock symbol will be TWTR, Twitter. Um, that being said, they did reveal some interesting information on their S1 form. So basically, they've confirmed that they now have 218 million monthly active users in the most recent quarter, more than 100 million daily active users, and 500 million tweets per day, which is very significant if you think about how much people in the world, how much people there are in the world, and how much people there are in the world that apparently like to tweet. 218 million people is a lot of people. That being said, in terms of financially, this company is pretty horrific. They made around $316 million in 2012. In this year, in the first 6 months of this year, obviously this year hasn't finished yet, they made around $253.6 million in revenue. So as you can see, they had nearly $80 million loss in year over year. So you can see how this is pretty significant. Most investors are worried about Twitter. Personally, I think Twitter is. I think it's bad for Twitter to go public now, but I think it's also kind of good. I guess the good, outweighs the cons. But to remind you guys of something similar, Facebook IPO'd a couple years back. I think it's been around 2 years now. And most investors were saying that Facebook IPO'd a little too late, and that's why their stock was, already at its peak. There wasn't much room to grow. So I think Twitter is actually on the good side, even though that their IPO might fail, and yeah, they might, go to the shit tank, but they only have 218 million users, and considering that Facebook has 1 billion users, if more people, I think there's more room for Twitter to grow. Yeah, it has an $80 million loss in revenue, but if Twitter can really, focus on its revenue generating side, which I'm not sure how it's going to do, other than what it has right now. I mean, there's not really much you can do for this, right? But I think they might find out a way, ingenuity, I think it's called. Anyways, overall, I think Twitter is a good long-term investment, and when I mean long, I really do mean long. I'm talking like 3, 4, 5 years. If you're just in it for short term, I guess it's probably bad. But on a related note, I just thought, maybe if you don't content wise, you can leave right now. But just FYI, some funny information. There's actually a bankrupt company that goes by the same name, TWTR. The only difference is that their stock symbol is TWTRQ. It's actually a bankrupt company, as in they're bankrupt. Like, it's confirmed they've been bankrupt. But when Twitter filed this on Thursday, many retard investors actually bought into TWTRQ, and the stock price increased by, I think it's either 1,600%, or it's going into the couple thousand percent range. But overall, I think it's hilarious to see that people are investing. But yeah, it's interesting. In the end, I think Twitter is good for going. It's good for Twitter to go public now rather than later, because if they wait too long, then they might become Facebook, and we do not want that to happen. But if they go right now and it becomes shit, I don't know. I guess we'll see how this all turns out. But comment, rate, and subscribe.